All right, I've been meaning to make this video for a while now. A lot of you have been asking, you know, what happened? Why did you move to Thailand? It's a huge combination of factors. Let me just get rid of this thing on the screen. There we go. All right. So there's a combination of factors. No, it's not because of some silly bar girl like a lot of some of the older guys do. I don't have that problem. When I was younger, when I used to work offshore, I used to come to Thailand to beat the tax. Now, I don't know if it's still the case, but in the mid-2000s, around then, if you spent more than 6 months outside of the UK, you could claim all of the tax back. Now, the amount of money I was making offshore was, well, back then, for me, it was huge. I was just doing an entry-level job, and I was making, what, 50,000 a year, I think it was, just as a tender, I think. That's when I was a tender, which is the lowest job when you're on a deep-sea vessel. It's the first job you get, if you're lucky. And so the idea is, as long as you spent 6 months and a day out of the country, you could write to the taxman and get your money back. And a lot of the guys offshore, you know, they're a bit older, a bit more pervy, you know, sailors, ex-Navy, right? So, I mean, one guy had I'm not even making this up, one of my old bosses, he had what we called the map. And it was a map of every, how can I word this? Every entertainment building in Rotterdam, which is the biggest port in Europe. And I remember when we used to pull into the port, he'll be like, what dock are we going in? And there's like 100, and he'll be like, oh, you know, number 22, and he'll open his drawer and he'll get it up, number 22, oh, this one. We called it the WHORE map. So, you know, horn dogs, right? I've never been that way. I don't want to sound like I'm boastful, but I've never had to pay or have had any interest in paying or had any interest in girls that are in that kind of industry. It kind of creeps me out. Not my thing. But a lot of the guys used to come to Thailand and say, it's great, you know, the weather's great, you can do some diving or whatever, water sports. And so I remember my first year offshore. So this is 06 maybe? It might be my second year offshore. So around then, I was a week short of being a year, and I was going to lose, because tax is huge, you know, because at that time, that was the 40% jump. And I was living a lifestyle of 100,000 on 50,000 because I was an idiot, right? I was in my early 20s. And so what I did was book because you get 1 month on, 1 month off. So I did like a 2.5 week, 3 week holiday in Thailand. I spent some time in Bangkok and a not so wonderful place called Pattaya, which apparently has gotten better now. So I'll go check it out when I get time. But back then it was really seedy. I didn't like it very much. And I got my tax back. You know, I was out of the country. I think it ended up being 2 days over, I actually miscalculated. And I got a nice fat check from a big fat check from the tax man, and I spent it on a BMW M5. Like any 22, 23-year-old idiot would do, right? When you get like 15K, which is what they were going for back then. I had a beautiful individual M5 E39. It was in a custom color. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was steel blau, which usually came on the regular BMWs, with a cream interior, but it had wood trim. It was a facelift with the cool angel eyes, and it had low mileage, one owner. And the previous owner was like called Reginald, you know, it was like the most poshest name. And you could tell it was babied and loved. A beautiful car. And I thrashed the living crap out of that thing and nearly crashed it 20 times. I mean, manual transmission, rear wheel drive, what was it, 400 horsepower, and I lived in central London in Docklands at the time. Not really the ideal car to have. I digress. Why am I here? Well, family's gone. I'm just going to put it out there. I had a mother. My father is estranged, and he has been since I've been offshore. I'm divorced. I got divorced in 2012. I lost everything. I lost all my money, my business, everything. I had cars, houses. I lived like a king. I did very well. I was a very successful man. I was a successful man. I built that business. But it was all robbed from me because I was an idiot and I didn't put everything on my name. I was too trusting. I was in a foreign land. I was living in Taiwan at the time, and she got me. She really got me. And back then I was 110 kilos. I was a big lad because I used to be a bouncer, funnily enough, on the side. And I was a big MF. I always have been. I mean, at the moment I'm at 98, so I've just started getting back into the training because I broke my ribs, so it's been kind of hard. But now, you know, it's getting there. So I'll be hitting the gym later. And so she used that against me. You know, oh, he's a big scary man. And the truth is, I'm not. I'm a gentle giant. I'm not even a giant. I'm a teddy bear. I hate violence. Hate it. Never use it unless I have to. And I always remember when people used to try and start fights, I'd beg them, please don't let me do this. You know, because it's just going to end up one way, and it always did. And I've got so many stories I could tell you, but I'm not going to go into that now. So, I'm in Thailand now. Why? The exchange rate is low, so it doesn't make much sense, right? I guess it falls down to a couple of reasons. One, I'm familiar with it because I've been here a few times before. Two, it's developing very quickly, for the better or worse, depending on how you look at it. Three, the majority of people are lovely. And I mean this. The majority of people are genuine, lovely people. You know, when they talk to you, they talk to you. And the same goes for the expats as well. You tend to meet, ignoring a few of the weird examples, but I guess you get it everywhere. The majority of the expats here are lovely too, and the Thai people are always very friendly, outgoing, and I'm an auto enthusiast, and in Thailand it's hard to get cool cars and cool bikes, and those that do have them, they get very excited when you have a huge knowledge, or you own, or you know anything about them. And so you can get a nice network, you know, and it's great. You know, you can get to know people and chat and BS about cars and stuff, and get connections in the right places, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I wasn't happy in England. It's just getting worse and worse. Now you could boil that down to a couple of reasons. Yes, I've lost all my family. A lot of my friends have... I lost track of a lot of my friends when I left the country the first time, but a few of them have fallen down some dark paths, and I couldn't be around them anymore, you know, whether it's alcohol or something else beginning with D. And I did try to help them, but I couldn't. And so I had no choice but to cut ties, which was painful. And I do miss them dearly. But, and, you know, people recover, right? Maybe they'll get better. And if you're watching, I know you do watch, you're welcome to come here, because you can't get that stuff here. So, you know, this is a drug-free country, so the only thing you can get is booze, and I don't drink, but you know, there's a couple of cool bars around here. You get great frozen margaritas and happy hours and whatnot, and it is good fun. And again, the people are lovely. It's a relatively safe place. However, I've had a lot of dramas. Dramas follow me. My older brother used to say a dark cloud was born over my head, and in some ways he's right. I mean, I broke 2 ribs. Well, I fractured 1 rib, broke 1 rib, broke my 2 teeth. This one got smashed, this one got smashed, and this one got smashed. and a little one got cracked here a little bit, in a fight between 5 and 8 security. Security. Basically, what happened was I went on an evening out, which I don't do very often. I mean, I'm getting older, and I just thought me and the missus would just have fun time. And so I went to a bar, and everything was fine. And then we were told that, oh, they close early. It was really weird here. They close at like 12. And I was told there's a place in Assol, which I like to call something else. And we ended up going there. And being a ex-security professional and bouncer, did it for years, I can just know straight away when something is not right. I can't help it. I can't switch it off, you know, it's there. And there was deals going down. There were deals going down, and I was watching it happen. I was watching people going in bathrooms and coming out, not the same person. I was watching, I mean, not that I'm watching the bathrooms, but I could see when a door would open that money and packets were exchanging. And so I innocently, because I don't want to get involved, right? It's not my bar, it's not a business, I don't work there. But I asked politely if I could speak to the manager, because I thought maybe they wouldn't be aware. And so I went to this manager, it was a lady, and I just told her that, you know, I think you've got something going on here. I just thought I'd let you know. You know, I don't know how you do things in Thailand, but I just thought I'd let you know that there's some stuff going on, you know, and whoever you want to deal with it, or if you don't, you don't, cool, whatever, but I just thought I'd let you know. So that was fine, right? No, it wasn't fine, because what happened was became obvious to me, and I should know better, because foreign land, different rules apply. In England, most places will be like, thank you very much, which is what I'm used to. But I should remember, this is Thailand. They were in on it. It was a bar that was for that particular product. I didn't know this, and that lady was running it. And so when me and the missus, as soon as did that, I left. And as we got to the lift, suddenly about 5 to 8 security guys just came towards the lift. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? And one of them, well, he screwed up. He threw a punch. Not at me, at my girlfriend, who is the sweetest person in the world. You ask anyone, they love her. She's so lovely. And they threw a punch, and I grabbed that arm, and I returned the favor, full blast. And yeah, I think it rocked him to his core. I haven't thrown a punch like that for a while. And to be honest, I didn't get full penetration, because he managed to pull back a little. But even though I was pulling his arm, I didn't quite get. It's been a while, you know. I'm a bit out of shape. And do you know what they did? They had mace. Now, I've never had to deal with mace. I've been in fights with 4 to 5 people and come out on top. I'm not Bruce Lee, but I'm very, very good at what I do. I know how to handle multiple people. I know how to be put down very quickly. It's just a skill I have. And I don't particularly like the skill. It's like a burden. It's not nice. I'm not the Incredible Hulk, but I kind of feel like almost the same way where he hates it. You know, he hates becoming this thing. And I feel the same way when I turn to violence. I get sad, because I feel like it's unfair on the other person, because I know I'm going to completely whoop them. And I feel really, really depressed afterwards. Sometimes I even get emotional, and I don't want to say, but you know, yeah. But they maced me. I've never been maced in my life, and so I was blind, and I was getting cattle prodded and beaten with those little metal sticks that extend out, and it was smacking me in the back of my head. Now, I know from fighting and sparring before, I'm really hard to knock out. In fact, I've never been knocked out in my life. People have tried, including these 5 to 8 people with weapons. The fuckers couldn't knock me down. They couldn't even get me on the floor. Even with the cattle prod, I wasn't even kneeling. And to be honest, they hit like girls. And I was so angry, because I couldn't see, and my eyes were burning, so I couldn't fight back. And so they attacked her and beat her. They attacked me and broke my nose. Forgot about that. I've broken it. I mean, look how long this thing is. It gets broken, right? You see my father as well. We've got the same nose, and it's just the Kelly nose. But it's fine. You just straighten it out. It bleeds for a while. It goes away. Whatever. That didn't hurt. That hurt. This little bastard right down here. That was the little one. Every morning, you know, when you get out of bed, every time that you lift something, it was just, you know, it took 2 months for that to heal. And I know how to heal ribs because I've broken them before, and they are just a pain in the arse, you know. And it really saddened me, you know, that there was no need for it at all. And what happened was they got scared because I found out, and they didn't want anyone else to find out. Maybe they thought I was going to tell someone. I wasn't going to tell anyone. I had no ill intentions, you know. I'm just an innocent party. I thought I was being helpful. So there's a lesson for you guys. If you see something dodgy going down, just walk away. Don't get involved. Don't try to help. I know that kind of goes against everything that we've been raised to be, if you were raised like I was. But this is not England, this is not Europe, this is not Australia, this is not America, this is not our land. And things here are upside down, inside out and backwards, very much so in every way. And, you know, I learnt a lesson. But you'll be happy to know that Mr. Potato Face, as I call him, the one that did the stuff with the mace and my teeth, he's not able to do security anymore. He had an unfortunate accident where after work, about 4:30 in the morning, he got on his scooter, and I mean, I don't understand how this happened. I mean, it's just awful what happens in Thailand. But, you know, he rode to the ATM machine, which I believe he did every shift. And then when he came out of the ATM, like there's like a little building you go to go into the ATM machine because banks are closed and it's safer. Someone did something to the back of his knee that requires ACL, which I doubt that he could afford. And I can tell you that if you get damage to that part of your knee, you can't stand for very long. You can't fight very well. You're not capable of doing security anymore. So, I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible what happened to that woman hitting weakling that used mace because he was too much of a pussy to actually fight. But, you know, accidents happen, don't they? There's still another 2 or 3 guys that I'm sure similar things will probably happen to them when they go to get their ATM, but they'll probably change the ATM since there's some vigilante going around on a bike early hours in the morning. Could be Batman, Thai Batman, I don't know. But, you know, dark cloud, right? Dark cloud follows me, follows you too when you do shit to me. And none of that is made up. And I don't approve of that, but don't touch my girlfriend. And don't attack innocent people. I would do that. I completely and utterly think that is justified. These people should not be working that job. And so this stops them from doing that job, and maybe they can work in 7-Eleven or a wheelchair. I don't know. But no. Anyway, so that's what happened there. Now this building I'm living here, you can see it's beautiful. We've got a nice view. That there is the infinity pool. Now, you may think, oh wow, you know, this guy's living a life of luxury. God, no, I'm not. It's living here has been, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, living here has been a nightmare. The jurisdiction are absolute bastards. Any excuse they can come up with, they will have me for. Anything. Even when it's completely innocent, nothing wrong, they'll find it. The other day, my starter motor died, and it was the original Denso starter motor from 1989. Impressive, right? It lasted over, 30 years. And at 5:30, I managed to get a guy to come, because I couldn't get the car out, it's in the car park. Managed to get a guy to come up. Now security and everyone let him in, and he stripped the car down. Now there's no noise. There's no noise, mates, because the engine's not running. And this is Sukhumvit, this stretch out here. It's very, very noisy, and in the car park. And I'm going to cut to the footage, and you'll see what I mean.